My name is Rob Simons. I'm the Deputy Fire Chief for the St. John Fire Department. And today, we'd like to take you on a tour of the facilities of the St. John Fire Department in conjunction with our open house. This year, our open house is going to be held in conjunction with National Fire Prevention Week. The goal of having an open house is to provide the citizens with a greater awareness of the various services that we provide here at the St. John Fire Department. Our services go beyond that of the traditional role of fire suppression and public education and code enforcement. We also have a number of specialized units within our department that respond to emergencies such as hazardous material response, ice rescue, marine rescue, and a host of other services that we provide to the citizens of our city. Today we're going to be visiting all 7 fire stations within our municipality. It is our hope that you will become more familiar with the stations located in your area, maybe have an understanding of the equipment that is housed there. Perhaps you'll see a familiar face in some of the personnel that are manning those facilities. So I'd like you to join with me today as we're going to visit with the stations and the personnel of the St. John Fire Department, and I'm sure that you'll find it interesting and you'll get a better understanding of the services we provide here at the St. John Fire Department. We begin at number 1 station, which also is the fire department headquarters for their administrative offices. I should first begin by telling you a bit about our response coverage here in the city. Anytime we receive a call for a structure fire, albeit a residential building, a dwelling, or a commercial property, the standard response within our city is 2 engine companies, a ladder company, the engine rescue unit, and a district fire chief respond to that particular call. That is a standardized response for any call for a structure fire or an alarm activation within the city. In the areas that lie beyond our hydrant areas, we also have tanker trucks which also respond to bring that source of water to the site of the emergency. Later on in our tour today, you'll have an opportunity to view one of those tanker units as well as the porta tanks that we use for shuttling the water. We'll begin now by, I'll talk a bit about the engine rescue unit here. And this unit is a specialized unit with specialized equipment. And this unit responds to fires in all areas of our city. It's housed in the uptown area, but it responds to motor vehicle accidents, emergency medical service calls, etc. throughout our city. And so they're a very busy unit. They carry specialized equipment, and as you can see here, one of the more traditional pieces of equipment that we have is the Jaws of Life. And many of our citizens are familiar with perhaps the name of the Jaws of Life and maybe some of the functions and the features of the units, but primarily they're used as an auto extrication device, and quite often we are called to assist ambulance and police personnel at motor vehicle accidents. And in those instances, more often than not, we are called upon to provide extrication services for a victim who may be trapped within a vehicle or in a multiple car or multiple vehicle accident. More often than not, we are called upon to use these types of equipment. Also, you'll see such things. You'll see a lot of things such as we carry with us a lot of specialized tools, and that something here you'll see with some wooden blocking, and someone may ask what that's used for, but quite often one of the first things that we have to do when we respond to a motor vehicle accident is to stabilize the vehicle itself so that we don't further endanger the victims who are in the vehicle, as well as to make the unit safe for rescue personnel so that the vehicle doesn't shift in that. In addition to this, we have a variety of other types of equipment on this unit. This unit also has pump capabilities so that it can be used as a pumper in the event of a structure fire, so it really has a dual role within our department. Here at number 1 station, we have an engine company, i.e. Engine 1, Ladder 1, Engine Rescue 3, and we also have our hazardous materials response unit is also housed here. If I can bring your attention here to ladder number 1. Ladder 1 is a LTI unit with a platform bucket. It's the boom's approximately 100 feet long. Used primarily, obviously, for when we're into responding to larger buildings. One of the primary roles of personnel on this unit is to assist in ventilation and rescue of personnel who are involved in a fire. This, again, is when I refer to a standard response within our department. Either this unit or Ladder 5, our other ladder truck here in the St. John Fire Department, would be the primary units responding to a structure fire. I'm bringing your attention to a specialized piece of equipment, and it's more for, I guess, of just general interest. And this unit was restored by the members of the St. John Firefighters Local 771, and it's a 1956 LaFrance pumper. And as you can see, a great deal of work went into this unit, and they paid close attention to detail. This unit is traditionally housed at our Firefighters Museum located on Sydney Street. And again, through the efforts of members of the department, they've restored this unit, and it's become a real popular hit, if you will, at our museum in the summer months, providing rides to some of the youngsters who visit our museum. And also, we have also used it when we have had our had honor guards for members of our department who passed away, and we have just now began to put this into service, I guess, to just in full recognition of our deceased members when we have funeral services for them. It's a way of recognizing their service to the department and to the citizens of St. John. As we're taking our tour today, speak a bit about the particular hazards that, with respect to the various station locations. In the uptown area, of course, being the urban core, we have a number of very high traffic flow during the daytime. We have the population of the city increases significantly during normal business hours, and by default you usually receive more emergency medical service calls. In that, I should point out that sometimes people want to know why you'll see an ambulance, a fire unit, and a police unit all responding to a particular residence. In St. John, we have a tiered response concept that we've had in place for some time now, with the intent that when an emergency call is placed through to our communication center in City Hall, when we dispatch apparatus for that particular emergency medical call, we will dispatch fire, police, and ambulance with the intentions of getting the first available unit to that individual who may need help. And sometimes our role as in the fire service is to stabilize that individual until the arrival of the ambulance so that they can treat the individual and transport them to the hospital. Going back to the particular hazards associated with this, in this area of town as well, we also have quite a bit of industry located within our first response area. When you think of the industry, we think of the heavy traffic that goes within and out of our port. We also think of the St. John Shipbuilding and Dry Dock. We have a number of pulp mills within the city boundaries and so forth. So these industrial installations in themselves pose certain challenges to the fire service with respect to providing proper fire protection, and also it also poses specific challenges with respect to the types of emergencies that we respond to. Because we have a lot of traffic, truck traffic, as well as traffic within our port, we have a lot of hazardous materials, commodities being transported through our city. And as a result, there's always a potential for accidents and so forth. So in our efforts to, I guess, to ensure that we minimize the effects of those accidents, we have developed a hazardous materials response unit here. And this unit also has specialized equipment with such things as encapsulated suits. It has various types of containment booms and so forth for containing the various types of products that maybe spill out into the roadways or perhaps into the roads and the waterways and so forth. We have certain equipment that we use in order to mitigate the effects of those types of hazards and those types of emergencies. And if you can, I'll just take you on a bit of a quick walking tour here through this unit. This unit was initially put into service approximately 6 years ago, and it was funded with a joint project through federal, provincial, and municipal funding. And again, this is one of the unique pieces of equipment that we have in our department. The personnel on our department, we have 30 members who are trained to the level of hazardous materials technician, and those individuals have specialized training. They're trained in how to read and react to the various emergency situations. They have an understanding of how to contain hazardous materials should they be either spilt, or perhaps if it's a vapor being released in the air, they know the appropriate action to take in order to minimize the effects of those types of hazards. We also have a decon unit, which is located here at the rear of our station. This decon unit, unfortunately, it doesn't, you're unable to really capture the real significance of its purpose here just by looking at it, but it's the goal of having a decon unit is that upon responding to hazardous material response, in many cases, the members of our response team have got to be decontaminated before they can go back into regular service. That part of that decontamination process is washing down everything from their types of protective suits that they wear to the cleaning up the equipment that they have to ensure that they are not either contaminated or going to contaminate other individuals or other pieces of equipment. Number 1 station also serves as the offices for our administrative headquarters for the St. John Fire Department. And one of the interesting artifacts here at the station is the stained glass window, which commemorates the Great St. John Fire in 1877. And it quite aptly portrays the devastation that occurred back at that period, and we actually lost over 1/3 of our city to the ravages of fire. Maybe if I can take a moment to explain a bit about the structure of the St. John Fire Department. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we have 7 fire stations within the the city of St. John. It's broken into 2 fire districts with 7 fire demand zones. And what I mean by that is that we have 7 fire stations, and we have the city itself broken into 2 districts. Our city is, the department is organized in a manner such where there is a chief of the department, Chief Glenn Tate. I serve as the deputy chief. And then our district chiefs are under the command of district fire chiefs. At any given time, there are 2 district chiefs on duty. The city is split essentially in half, with one district being north and west, and the other district being central, south, and east St. John. Also, you can see here we also have quite an interesting picture of the various fire chiefs that have served the city right back from the years of 1816 to the present time, and certainly, as I've indicated on many occasions, certainly the St. John Fire Department has had a really storied history with the city, with the citizens. We've certainly we have a tremendous tradition with our department, and that goes back hand in hand with the tradition of the city in itself. If I can take a moment to elaborate a bit about the structure of the St. John Fire Department. As I've indicated, first of all, the fire department and fire service throughout North America is a paramilitary organization. We have a rank structure with rules and regulations dictating what our duties and responsibilities are. And our department is no different in that regard. As I mentioned at the onset, we have 7 fire stations in the St. John area. Station 1, which we're located here at Carmarthen and Leinster Street. Station number 2, which is located on